Mike Johnson wants to fix America's cities and doesn't care where the work starts, as long as it's in cities run by Democrats. But other than that, he's not picky. This is just another day. Being the Speaker of the House is no easy job, unless, of course, you simply do and say whatever Donald Trump instructs you to do. Then I suppose it's a pretty easy gig.
We cannot allow crime to devastate, ruin our great cities in America, certainly not the greatest capital in the world. And so we've got to end the crime wave, we've got to clean up the city, and we've got to make sure that it shines as it should, as the nation's greatest nation's greatest capital.
That's right, Washington, D.C., home to gorgeous monuments, centuries of history, and some of the country's most fascinating museums that, according to our president, keep talking about what a downer that whole slavery thing was. But it's clear that Mike Johnson cares deeply about eradicating crime from all American cities. Well, maybe not all.
We have to address the crime problem in any city where it's a problem like that. And in large cities like in Chicago, as you mentioned, that would be a big help there. I was there just 2 days ago, and it's a serious, serious problem. They don't even report murders on the evening news in Chicago anymore because it's so common.
Yep, we've heard it 1,000 times. Chicago news broadcasts are so over reporting on crime. All they do now is spend a half hour every night talking about how Caleb Williams looks this season and how Bob Fosse's Chicago really captured the essence of the city. I mean, sure, there was this from yesterday's broadcast of Chicago's local news.
Police remain here on scene in this vacant lot where they say the shooting unfolded following a large fight.
Yeah, I guess Mike Johnson missed that one. Not his fault, though. You know how terrible the reception is up Trump's ass. Now, Chicago just so happens to be top of mind for folks ever since Trump's marathon cabinet meeting this week, where he really Jewish-mothered Governor Pritzker's lack of reaching out for help.
It'd be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it?
Would it hurt to pick up the phone? Mr. Big Shot too busy to ask me for an unconstitutional power grab? But with Trump's eyes set on Chicago and his inevitable dispatch of the National Guard there, one would think he would at least make an effort to coordinate with local officials so this could be as productive as possible. Right?
The mayor said this morning that there's still been no communication from the White House, and Alderman Brian Hopkins said during his briefing many people wanted to know how much advance warning Chicago might get if the Guard does come here. The answer? Not much.
Yeah, but isn't that what makes it so exciting? It's like a surprise party for your entire city. You think it's just a normal night, you're just meeting your friends for a few drinks at the bar after work, but then the minute you open up your door, surprise! Armed members of our military have been mobilized and sent to your town for partisan purposes. But back to Speaker of the House and Louisiana's own chronic never-masturbator Mike Johnson. If he's so passionate about fixing America's cities, how come he's not thinking about his hometown? And I'm not the only one asking this. Gavin Newsom actually had the same question.
He name-dropped you personally yesterday, essentially trying to say that crime is worse in Louisiana than it is in California.
Real quick, just want to make a point. Gavin Newsom is not trying to say those facts. He did say those facts. That's how facts work. So did anchors, journalists, and all the other people that care about the truth. But let's hear him out.
If he is to invest in crime suppression, I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than Californians in Louisiana.
Have at it.
Again, Gavin Newsom will do anything for attention. He can name drop me all he wants. He needs to go and govern his state and not be engaging in all of this.
I find it pretty amusing how Mike Johnson, who rents a room inside of Donald Trump's colon, characterizes Gavin Newsom as attention-seeking and engaging in all of this, when his tiny penised landlord spends his nights tweeting about contract extensions of late-night hosts, and yet Mike Johnson finds that apparently very fitting of the office of the president. But let's give the speaker another shot, shall we?
I was going to ask when you might be calling for the National Guard in Shreveport, which is, you have part of your district is Shreveport. The FBI statistics, actually violent crime per 100,000 residents higher in Shreveport last year than Washington, D.C.
There's a lot of good work that's been done. There's a lot of reasons for that. But we have a Democrat DA there who has not been prosecuting crime as some other more aggressive DAs have around the country. Soros funded that individual to be elected.
I'm sorry, in all your garbled Soros-linked Democrat blaming, I didn't catch your reason as to why you think the National Guard shouldn't come into your town when the crime rate is higher than D.C.'s.
So would the Guard help? If the Guard can help in D.C., The president has said he wants to send the Guard to Chicago and other places. Why not Shreveport?
I don't know. That's not my call.
Would you
it may
ask
be
him for
necessary. Well, I don't know. Let's take one city at a time and see.
Yeah, Mike Johnson just wants to take this one city at a time. Hell, he's cool with even picking them at random. Just throwing some darts at a totally unbiased dartboard, and whatever happens, happens. The truth is, Mike Johnson's intentionally false and long-winded rhetoric is the exact reason Democrats have to use every tool in their tool belt to fight back against the Republican agenda. Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, and everyone else in the autocratic get-along gang are bad faith negotiators. When Speaker Johnson vomits out a word salad and deflects from questions actually being asked, it is because there's no logical explanation for his actions. Just like the Speaker does with all of that masturbation monitoring with his son, Mike is showing us his hand. Look, I know how much the Republican Party seems to hate math that doesn't hew in their favor, but this really is the simplest of equations that's hard to refute. If Mike wants to stop crime in our cities, and Mike's city has a lot of crime, that equates to Mike wanting the National Guard in his city. Full stop. No meandering sentences with caveats and loopholes. Don't even need a fancy calculator to figure it out. It is just simple, irrefutable math. But Johnson and his party aren't interested in what's true, the same way they're not interested in what's actually good for our cities, our states, or our country as a whole. This is all about maintaining their grip on power, and they will do whatever it takes to make that happen. Under Donald Trump's, well, I don't want to say leadership, so let's just call it dictatorial directive, Republicans have abandoned any effort at bipartisanship, they've ceded all legislative power to the executive branch, and they've thrown out one of their party's core principles, respecting states' rights. The GOP has allowed this president to consolidate so much power, I bet if Donald Trump asked Mike Johnson to help him protect a pedophile and sex trafficker by putting up roadblocks to any information getting out there, he would do that too. Oh wait, he did. Mike Johnson isn't looking to address crime any more than he's looking to streamline Medicaid or provide tax cuts to everyday Americans. All he really wants to do is militarize the streets of Democrat-led cities, kick 17 million people off Medicaid, and provide tax cuts to millionaires. So all those lies he continues to spew, they're nothing more than another piece of proof that what we are witnessing is essentially one big Republican jerk-off. Not that Mike Johnson would know anything about that. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.